Fpl Physio here, and another game week is done. This is my game week 16 transfer plans and also a few tips for your transfers. I'm currently ranked 190 overall, and let's jump right into it. Not so much talking. So this is my game week 15 week. Bruno and Mbeumo really saved my game week. Bruno with a major haul and Mbeumo also with a decent score. Foden, major haul. Tarkowski did well as well. Tarkowski did well as well. I don't know if you could say that, but he did well nonetheless. Um, yeah, I always think this is pretty boring to talk about. I also think that you think it's boring. So 67 points, game week 15. Let's go to game week 16. So this is my current lineup for game week 16. Raya and Timber, a great fixture against home against Wolf. If you don't have at least two Arsenal defensive players, you need them. Virgil home against Brighton. Liverpool is such a mess right now. It's insane. Such a mess. Salah ranting about the club threw him under the bus and so forth and so on. He acts like he's the king, but I think that he just found out that no player can ever be the king of any club. Um, so he has been left out of the midweek Champions League game due to these comments, and I don't feel comfortable owning Van Dijk, but I don't want to waste a transfer on getting him out. So let's see what happens. I mean, home against Brighton, maybe if they're lucky, they can keep a clean sheet. Munoz home against City, um, not the greatest fixture. I'll come back and talk a bit more about Munoz later, because I am thinking about transferring out. Mbeumo and Bruno, um, really happy with Bruno. I've had him since game week 1. I also think he's a must-have and has always been. Um, his underlying stats is crazy. He has so many routes to points, so get him in if you don't own him. Foden, away against Palace, not the greatest fixture, but City, I think City is getting better now. Foden's underlying stats is also great. Um, I think Foden is being a bit overhyped now. It seems like every manager is buying him in. I think you will be okay without buying him, to be honest. Enzo home against Everton. Enzo not performing points wise, but underlying stats uh, still great. I mean, last match was point 38 or 39, I think, in expected goal involvements. So that's okay. Anderson home against Spurs. I actually think that that's a really solid pick here. I would also pick him on a free hit. Um, Also, so many routes to points defensively. Not as many as routes to point as Bruno, but he is DEFCON beast. Anderson is a DEFCON beast, and he's a bonus point scoring merchant. So he's almost guaranteed 4 points. For that price, I mean, it's a solid pick. It's either between him or Tarkowski, and right now it's Anderson. Thiago home against Leeds. Also, really solid pick. Underlying stats is great. Um, and he's on penalties, and yeah, I mean, he's the one that I went early on. I subbed out Mateta and brought in Thiago. Holland, of course. Let's move on here. So this is what we're looking at for game week 16. This is projected expected goals and projected clean sheets. This is from the software, the web app that I use. I'll link it in the description. So we're looking at major favorites, being Arsenal, home against Wolves. Projected expected goals is very high, 2.3, and projected clean sheet odds is also very high, 0.63. So Arsenal overall great fixture. You should already own at least two Arsenal players. So I think I'm good with the 2 I have, but I am actually contemplating getting a third one in. Other than that, we can see that Liverpool expected goals is pretty high too, but the projected clean sheet odds is quite low. The second favorite to keeping a clean sheet is Chelsea, home against Everton. Chelsea defensively have looked pretty decent, and a 41% chance of getting a clean shot is pretty decent. They might have Palmer almost fully back. I think he'll play around the 75-minute mark because he is being rested midweek. Then we have City away against Palace, which is why a lot of managers is using their free hit. I think many managers have Palace assets as well as City. Then we could talk a bit about United home against Bournemouth. I think United at home is a great fixture. It's more defensively, they're a bit shaky. So, and if you don't own any United players at all, Bruno is the one to get, like no doubt. Bruno. Let's look at my transfer thoughts for now. So I'm thinking about transferring Munoz out or Mbeumo out. Could even be both. Munoz is fixtures is getting it's okay, it's decent, but I think he has been overperforming. He has been performing well against the lower tier teams. And will he continue to perform like this against better opponents? I'm just not that sure. I don't think he'll be as offensive as he has been. So I'm contemplating subbing him out, and as well as Mbeumo. Mbeumo will leave my team, of course, because he's going to the AFCON. And then the question is, okay, who do you bring in? Because Palmer is almost back, and Saka is looking okay. But for now, I'm looking at bringing in Saliba or Saka. Of course, I need absolutely clear indications that Saliba will start. There is rumors talking about Saliba will feature midweek. We'll know today or tomorrow. I can't remember when they play. If he does, he's a great contender to get in my team. I would have no fear in tripling up on Arsenal defensive players. The underlying stats for Arsenal is still absolutely insane. Saka. So if I do the Saka route, it's more of I bring in Saka, and then when Gabriel is back, I transfer out Saka and another player and bring in Gabriel, because Saka his expected minutes is lower this season than last season. He doesn't seem as great as last season. I think it's mainly due to Arsenal being a lot more compact, and the overall plan from Arteta is to control the game. And Saka is more of he's a more dynamic and fluid and counter-attackish player. So I don't think it fits him, to be honest, the way that Arsenal played this year. But it's home against Wolves for this game week, and then we'll look more into the other fixtures as well. But I do think it's an okay transfer. I also think he might be the best captain pick for game week 16. So if you want to play a bit more aggressive, Saka is a decent pick. So I also thought about Palmer, but his minutes risk is simply too high for now. His underlying stats, we don't know. We don't know in what shape or form he is. The Christmas schedule, how will he be played there? Will he play every second match, or how many minutes will he get, because he just came back from a long-term injury. So he's just not as secure as he was last season, of course, but he has a mad top level. Palmer is that kind of player who can score 4 goals in a match. And you want that player in your team, because if he does it in a game week and you've captained him, it's Christmas, baby. It's Christmas. Then I looked at Collins. His expected minutes is high. He also is a bit of an offensive threat on set pieces. He is a differential. He's owned by, I think it's 1% of managers, but they don't keep as many clean sheets as I would like, even though the Brentford's underlying stats defensively is actually okay. The same thing can be said about Anderson from Fulham. So let's look at the fixtures and who you could look at. I mean, we talked about Arsenal. What player there are interesting is Raya, Timber, Saliba if he's back. Calafiori is out, but long term also interesting. Then you got Saka and Rice, I would say. Rice, Defcon, also underlying stats for expected goal involvements is pretty decent. Then we got Aston Villa. I'm not looking at any Aston Villa players. It's impossible to know where the returns will come from, to be honest. Bournemouth, I think Semenyo is the only pick. I transferred him out because his underlying stats were dropping. Now they're increasing a bit again. I understand the managers who keep him, but I think that the only pick. No, sorry, Senesi as well. Also a decent pick if you want to go for Bournemouth players. Then we got Brentford. I think Thiago is the #1 pick. Then you can look at Collins and Vandenberg. They have great fixtures coming up. I'm looking quite a lot on Brentford players, to be honest. Brighton, Minter, maybe the only one. I've seen some took in Welbeck, but I think Minter is the only one. You could argue that Van Hecke, with also decent underlying stats, is also a great pick. Burnley, no. Chelsea, we talked about Palmer. I think Palmer is the only one. Enzo is I think Enzo is being transferred out by too many managers. I think he's a decent pick. He's a decent pick still. His underlying, I need to see the underlying stats get worse. Crystal Palace. I mean, Crystal Palace defenders is just overall great. And I know I said I'm thinking about transferring out Munoz, but Gahey, Richards, Munoz, I mean, great picks, to be honest. They're so great this year. It's insane. So I understand any of those. Mateta, I would transfer him out. His minutes is low. I mean, during Christmas he'll probably he won't drop dead, but it's close. He looks tired. He only plays 60 minutes every match, and yeah. Everton Tarkowski is a great buy. It's a great buy. Also long term. Look at the fixtures, how they turn from, is it game week 18, I think. Tarkowski is a great buy. Keane as well. Dewsbury Hall, also really great buy if you want to add some flexibility in your team. Fulham, Anderson, I think is the only one. Wilson is on fire. Maybe an interesting pick on free hit, but other than that, I don't think it's interesting. The other teams here, Leeds, no. Liverpool, I would stay away from Liverpool for now. It's simply too risky. If I had to choose one player, no, I don't even think. No, I wouldn't choose any player. City, yeah, I think, of course, Haaland. Foden underlying stats is also great and has been for the last 3 or 4 games. You could argue Guardiola maybe, just because he has high expected minutes. O'Reilly, I mean, if he plays, he's a great pick. He's so offensive, it's insane. Other than that, I wouldn't say there is a great pick. United, Bruno is the only one. Buy Bruno. If you don't own him, buy him. Unless like you can come up with the most obscure and insane argument in the comments. Newcastle, I think Newcastle players are getting bought in quite massively, and I kind of get why, but I also don't get why. The underlying stats of, let's say, expected goals conceded is just not that great. Voldemar is not on penalties. Gordon might be the only one, but how is his expected minutes looking? Bruno Guimaraes looks decent, to be fair, actually. High expected minutes, expected goal involvements also decent. Yeah, so a decent pick as well. Forest, nothing for me. Spurs, no. Sunderland, no. West Ham, Jared Bowen, maybe. With this next 2 games, no. I would consider buying him in from game week 18. I gotta be honest. I think he has the most shots in the last 6 game weeks, and they look better. Yeah, but I have to look more into it. And then we got Wolves. Don't buy any Wolves players all season, probably. Stay away from Wolves. Captain players who play Wolves, I would almost say. Yeah, I think if you watched it all, thank you so much. Subscribe if you appreciate it, like it, everything like that. Follow me on X if you're on that media, and thank you for watching.